the wireless receiver and transmitter. The tooltip for both is really bare bones. Basically, it's just telling you an easy setup to prove that you can make a wireless connection by setting up a easy ramp for a earthquake effect. Basically, you have this transmitter that is called WT1, and you have a receiver that is receiving this transmitter and is set to see all receivers of that kind in the entire scene. And once you put something in here, it will come out here. So this timer, once it starts, will ramp up a signal, and this signal will start shaking the camera. And now, since the timer doesn't reset, this will keep happening, which I'm not a big fan of, so let's disable that. Yes, you can see there's no connection between those, but it really doesn't highlight the potential of the wireless connection. So first, let's check out a bit more of the details of how this is set up. This is a similar setup. We have a transmitter that is called WT2, so it's not interfering with the first one. And this time we have a sphere with a fall-off effect. This is similar to the trigger zone, so check out that if you need some more detail. But basically, we feed in a 1 into this receiver, into this transmitter, and the 1 is sent to the receiver. So the receiver receives it here and sends it just to this number display. Once we enter the zone, you can see that it's gradually increasing up to 1 and stays there once we are inside the inner sphere. If we decrease the value, of course, we will only ramp up to the new maximum value, in this case 0.6. There isn't a whole lot more to the receiver and transmitter pair. You can change the shape, you can change the size, but which isn't something that isn't really obvious. The transmitter can also receive a value and put it out, while the receiver can also transmit a value which you can feed in here. So this entire setup you can basically build in reverse, which is up here, where we have the receiver on the left, which is looking for a transmitter, WT3, and we put this value here to the receiver and transmit it to the transmitter. This is working similarly, but as you can see on the right, where the number display is, the fall-off does not really work in this setup. But basically this allows for a two-way connection where you can transmit something and also receive something from the same partner. So for example, up here we have basically the same forward setup that we've had before. We have a transmitter, WT4, that gets a sample 1, and we have a receiver that is looking for that transmitter with basically just fall off. So if we are at the very center, we will get the maximum value, which is 1, and at the edge we will of course only get a small value. This value is displayed here, and basically this looks like this. There, it increases. Also, if we go out again, it decreases. Something else we're doing here, we are taking this value and we're feeding it back into the reverse input, where we are transmitting something back to the transmitter. You can ignore this for now. So this distance value that we get here due to the fall off, we can send back and display it here. So basically the two values are identical and we can have them on both sides. And something else you might have noticed right now, this cube turned this color, which is exactly what I'm doing here. The switch itself is meaningless. I just wanted this color gizmo. I first unbundled it so I could rebundle it with the distance value and send the entire 4-value bundle to the transmitter. And the transmitter then, of course, displays the distance, but it also accepts the color and colors this little cube in the according color. Since the reverse direction does not have any fall off, it is the maximum value, the absolute color that we've chosen all the way through. There's no color fading. So what is the purpose of this setup? Well, imagine if you have several different chips that do all the same, but they have a different color each time. In this setup, when we move here, we know we are this close to the blue chip, and when we are over here, we know how close we are to the red chip. Check this out. The blue chip is of course not displaying anything because we are not inside its sphere of influence. And also we can move up here to the yellow chip and get the distance we are from this one. All without having any wires running between those different stations. And I think this is a decent setup to show you the power and the potential of wireless connections.